this image. It was posted on Twitter by people searching for a missing person. Now, I want to point out the emphasis in this map and my critique of what was done here, but the idea is that these are the different camping areas in the Grand Teton National Park area that were being searched, and one of them is literally labeled Dispersed Campground 1 based on the river it's near. I want you to note a couple of things here. This is a section of an outcropping of stone or whatever. It's part of the terrain. And the top dead center point is approximately here. And if you look down, you get to here. Campsite 1 is there. And you see a curve here of basically flat area and a second curve, a down and then flat and then an up edge. Now we're going to go into the next image. That corresponds roughly with what is this terrain here, because that's where the roads and such are, and that's where the streams are. And that blue dot is a Google Street View sphere, at least the location on the map. It's not really correct. And that red dot is the location that was indicated as being blocked off by a police officer at a specific campground that does not have a name even partially similar to the one that was put out by people looking up the subject today. On the east boundary of the Grand Teton National Park in Berger Teton National Forest, at one of 24 dispersed camping areas named for and along a 14-mile-long creek called Spread Creek that goes from here all the way over to here. At Moran Vista camping area, which is the red dot, by Forest Road 30290, and there's the GPS information. Now I'm going to be comparing two images. There's only a very few images that are released by police and such, even after there's a conclusion to figuring out what happened. Now I'm going to compare two images that are not identical, and I could be completely wrong. There's another two images, by the way, and I was able to use them to find this area. If you're not aware of it, I found a location up here on Google Street View, right where this thing spells out the word G for Google, that is also matching up partially with one of the images. So let's move on to the image. Now, there is a marker put on the ground for something terrible that happened, and this is the background. Now, one of my criticisms, please bear with me, one of my very, very extreme criticisms of the police, FBI, and everybody else is they absolutely want people to ask them questions instead of answering the questions ahead of time. Sometimes that's done for good reasons so that they can catch a bad guy and not reveal too much information. But sometimes it's done because they don't want to release the information. I needed an image from this point of view turned around exactly 180 so I could see behind, so I could see if I've got this correct. And I don't know if I have it correct. So, first things first, let's fix that unzooming in that the browser has chosen to do. Now I'm going to zoom in up here and show you a very specific feature. I think this is a feature of the tree line here. That looks as if it's a cut through or fire break, but I can't tell. It could also just be somehow a white tree, but I doubt it. Over here we see one of the very tall mountains in the distance. And over here we see a very distinctive cut down in the surrounding terrain. Mountain, then this slight hump up, and this deep gouge here. And then on the far left, we see very distinctly this rambling mountain range thing go on. And then we see this, what looks like a fire break cut, but I don't know. And we see what looks like a stone outcropping there. Okay. Now I'm going to zoom that out, zoom that in a little bit, and we're going to go to the Google Street View that I found that matches it closely. There's a slot, very much has to be a break in the plant life there, and it does seem to match up very closely with that. So let's move that over to there. There's our mountain in the background, and there's it's the same location almost exactly. In the image that was taken at the scene where the individual was found, there's one tree out of the whole bunch that's tilted over. Okay, and we're obviously fairly close. I want to point out you can see more of the mountain range in the background because we are, at this image, further uphill compared to the other one. As you can see, it's just a little bit lower there. So that means the image in the Google Street View is down here someplace, and it could be off to the right or the left. In fact, I'm pretty sure it could be either direction. So when we go into that, I can zoom out a little bit, turn around, and we can see the tilted over tree right here. Someone in August of 2019, Richard Faber, took an image from an area that's almost exactly the location, which means if I do this angle like this, that cross in the ground is over here. This map showed the boundaries of one type of forest within another, etc. The location where that image on Google Street View matches as close as possible to where they found this person is in this area. This is the search area that was designated or talked about or not. And that's the location relative to the surrounding area. And again, this is one of only 2 images that give any clue as to where this happened at, what campground number, and the fact that it was named a specific campground is only mentioned 1 or 2 places, and it's not actually the exact location. But this marker is the only thing we have that says where this happened, and oddly enough, because of one damaged tree, and it's the only one damaged that way, that specific tree right there, it is highly likely that this is the general location where she was found. Thank you for watching. Have a good day. Good luck with all of that.